Today I will explain about the phases of compiler. As we know that compiler is a program that reads a program written in one language, the source language, and translate it into another language, the target language, and it reports the error in the source program. In this block diagram, we can see the input to the compiler is a high-level language or source program, correct? And then the output of that compiler is the target program or machine code or relocatable object code. Side by side, it displays the error messages also. There are two major parts of compiler, that is the analysis part and the synthesis part. And in analysis part, an intermediate representation of the source code is created from the given source program, and it constitutes three parts: lexical analysis, analyzer, syntax analyzer, and semantic analyzer. Or we can say that it constitutes three blocks or three phases of compiler in analysis phase: lexical analyzer, syntax analyzer, or next is semantic analyzer. These are the parts of the compiler phase. And next phase is synthesis phase. This phase construct the equivalent target program from the intermediate representation of the source code. And this phase consists of intermediate code generator, and code optimizer. There are 6 phases in total: lexical analyzer, syntax analyzer, semantic analyzer, intermediate code generator, code optimization or code optimizer, and code generator. The first 3 phases are called analysis phase, and remaining 3 phases are called synthesis phase. Each phase transforms the source code from one representation to another representation. They also communicate with the error handlers, and they also communicate with the symbol tables. We will discuss later about the error handlers and symbol table. Okay. Then this is the structure of compiler or block diagram of compiler, which consists of lexical analyzer, lexical analysis, syntax analysis, semantic analysis, intermediate code generator, code optimization, and finally code generation. The input to the compiler, as we know, that the source program, and then the source program enters in each and every phase, and each and every phase generates some output message or output code, correct? And each and every phase is connected with two more blocks, that is symbol table and error handlers. The error handler handles the message related to every phase and generates the reports. And symbol table is a data structure that stores the required information in memory location, or any kind of data structure we can design to construct, or we can use any kind of data structure to design this block or the symbol table. This symbol table holds the information or intermediate information related to the execution of each phases. Or we can say that during the execution of each phase, some memory is required, that this block or this symbol table provides memory during the execution. And the overall output of this block is the target program or assembly language program. Now we will see each and every phase one by one. The first phase of this block, as you can see, is the lexical analysis. And then what is lexical analysis? Is a lexical analysis is the process of converting the sequence of character or lexeme into the sequence of tokens. And then what is lexeme? Lexeme is a character strings which is given as input to the source to the lexical analysis phase. Or you can say that the smallest logical unit of a program is called lexeme. This lexical analysis phase is, or this lexical analysis have different names. This is lexical analysis, or sorry, lexical analyzer. You can call it as a lexer, scanner generator, or only lex. And output of this lexical analyzer or output of this block is the token. And the token describes a pattern of character having some meaning in the source program, such as identifiers, operators, keywords, number, delimiters, and so on. That means the collective meaning of a pattern or character stream or lexeme is known as token. For example, suppose we write an equation A equal B plus C. Then A is a character stream which is known as identifier or token type identifier. Then equal sign is an assignment operator which is a token type of operator. Then B and C are also an identifier type of token, and plus is addition operator. This block also puts information about the identifier into the symbol table. That means every newly found identifier is obtained memory in the symbol table. And you can say that every input or type of identifier type of input have some storage during runtime, which is value or memory location stored in the symbol table. And how this character strings or patterns are identified using the lexical analyzer. For this, we use regular expressions of theory of computation or automata theory to describe the tokens or lexical construct. Or we can say that we have to design regular expression or transition table for each and every tokens or patterns or character strings. A deterministic finite automata can be used in the implementation of lexical analyzer. This can, again, I can explain with one more example. For this, we can consider a source code like position equal initial plus rate into 60 and semicolon. This complete sentence is a lexeme or considered as a lexeme for the lexical analyzer, or input to the lexical analyzer is a character stream which is a type position equal initial plus rate into 60 and semicolon. This complete string or character stream is feed as input to the lexical analyzer. But this lexical analyzer, what will the output of that lexical analyzer, or what will the lexical analyzer will do? The lexical analyzer will reads the given code character by character and groups them into a stream of token in which each token represent a logically cohesive sequence of characters such as identifier, keywords, delimiter, etc. For the same example, we can separate each lexeme and identify them as a token. For the same example, position equal initial plus rate into 60 and semicolon. Here, the position is a character strings which is identified as identifier. Equal is again identified as an assignment operator. Initial is again an identifier. Plus is an addition operator. Rate is an identifier. Multiplication symbol is a multiplication operator. 60 is a constant. And lastly, the delimiters terminates the that sentence or characteristics. Here some more example which you can identify various tokens or characteristics. In this example, float sum number plus number 2, return sum. Right? This can be identified. You can identify the tokens in this example. Next block is syntax analysis. Syntax analysis perform the syntax checking, or it verifies the tokens, that is the output of the lexical analyzer, or you can say that the output of the lexical analyzer is input to the syntax analysis, and output of the syntax analysis is a parse tree. That means we identify or verify the tokens, which is the output of the lexical analyzer, or we can verify these tokens using the context-free grammar or the production of context-free grammar, or this can be verified in as a derivations. I can explain all this. Example, for position equal initial plus rate into 60, but initially you can consider that a parse tree is constructed for these tokens, and like this: identifier 1 identifier equal identifier 2 plus identifier 3 into 60. The output of that syntax analyzer is somewhat like this: a tree is constructed, or parse tree is constructed for that tokens, but this parse tree is nothing but is a derivation which is generated for each and every token, or we can say that for that type of pattern we have to design some context free grammar or some productions in advance, and those productions those productions are used to verify these tokens, or we can verify these tokens as a derivation using leftmost derivation or rightmost derivation, as you had earlier studied about the verification or derivation of a token. This can be discussed in detail in the syntax analysis or syntax analyzer chapter, but initially you can consider that the output of the syntax analyzer is only a parse tree, which is a verified parse tree, and this parse tree is further input to the semantic phase, that is the semantic analysis. And next, the third phase is semantic analysis. That semantic means that semantic is a term which is used to describe the meaning. Some features of the programming languages cannot be checked in a single left to right scan of the source code. For example, the information concerning the type of scope of variable. Semantic analyzer checks the source program for semantic errors and collects the type information for the source code. Type checking is an important part of semantic analyzer. Normally, semantic information cannot be represented by the context-free languages used in syntax analyzer or context-free grammar used in syntax analyzer is integrated with attribute or some semantic rules. Or some semantic rules are designed to verify the semantic information. The result is a syntax directed translation and attribute grammar. Can understand this concept of semantic analysis. With this example, the position equal initial plus rate into 60 will generate a parse tree having node position equal initial plus rate into 60. But all the identifier are, suppose all the identifier position, initial and rate are considered as a real time. Then 60 multiplied by rate or rate is multiplied by 60 is not possible because because 60 value is number. So we have to check this semantic errors, or we have to consider that 60 as a real type, or we have to put some converter to convert the 60 constant 60 as a real type. Such type of modifications are called semantic analysis, and some codes or some attributes are assigned with modifications or with this code. Here we can convert this 60 as integer to real. An integer to real is a converter code which considers 60 as a real. So that identifier 3 or rate is, or this identifier 3 or rate is easily multiplied by 60. This in this incorporation of attributes or converter known as semantic rules. Generally, the context-free grammars productions are assigned with some attributes. This can be discussed in next chapter in detail. Here you can consider only that the semantic checks are applied here to check the semantic analysis or to identify the semantic actions. Next is the intermediate code generation. The intermediate code generation produces the explicit code, intermediate codes representing the source program. And intermediate codes are the machine independent code or architecture independent code, but the levels of this intermediate code is close to the levels of machine code. This, and these codes have some common properties. It should be easy to produce. It should be easy to translate into target program. And the typical representation of such type of intermediate code is the three address code, which is also known as stack code. Typical format or syntax of the stack code is A equal B operator C, where A, B, C are the identifiers and op is a binary operator. Some other forms of intermediate codes are postfix notation, quadruple representation, triple and indirect triple representation. That same above code, an example code, is again applied to the intermediate code generation block, or a parse tree is given as input to the intermediate code generator block, and that intermediate code for that code segment or code program example code is converted as a stack code as given. For example, this rate into 60, the temporary variable temp1 convert the rate into convert the 60 as a real, or using the convert using the converter integer to real. That temp2 again is a tag code, 3 address code, where identifier 3 into temp1, the converted value of 60 is multiplied by rate or identifier 3 and is stored in again a temporary variable temp2, and temp3 is assigned with identifier 2 and the result of that rate into 60, which is stored in temp2, and identifier 2 and temp2 is assigned to temp3. Temp are evaluated in temporary variable at temp3, and temp3 is again equate with identifier 1, which is the final result of calculation initial plus it into 60, which is assigned to position, and position is identifier 1, which is assigned to identifier 3. That above three phases are the analysis phase and this code further sent to synthesizer phase, synthesis phase, and which is code optimizer, code generator, code optimizer, and code generator. Sorry, the next above phase, that is fourth phase, is also the synthesis part. Intermediate code generation is the synthesis part. And now this is the code generation and code optimizer phase. At the code optimizer phase optimizes the code in terms of time and space. The principal sources of optimization are, that means why we optimize the code. The codes are optimizes for the efficient utilization of registers and instruction set of the machines. These are some principal sources of optimizations are the registers and instruction set of machines, inner loops, identification of some common expressions, language implementation details are inaccessible to the users. There are various types of optimizations. Some common, there are the following types of optimizations: local optimization, that is optimization of the common sub-expression, and loop optimization, that is used in loops, correct? And example, speed up of loops, that means how to speed up the loops, execution of loops. That loop optimization and local optimization, all the optimizations may be discussed in other chapters. The following code can be optimized in terms of time and space. Here we can see that temp1 is equal to integer to real 60, temp2 is identifier 3, temp1, temp3 is identifier 2 plus temp2, and identifier 1 equal to temp3. These 4 lines of execution will take more time than the after that. Here we can see that after optimization, here we have only 2 lines of executions, and above 4 lines of execution also takes more space than below 2 lines of execution. So that temp1 will directly multiply identifier 3 with 60.0. We can consider 60 as a real by putting that decimal point as 60.0. That result directly stored in temp1, and temp1's result directly we can add to temp identifier 2 and directly equate with identifier 1. So these 2 lines of execution will take less space and less time as compared to the above 4 lines of conversion. So here we optimize the code in terms of time and space, And last phase is the code generation phase. The code generation phase produces the target language in a specific architecture. The target program is normally a reallocatable target code or object code containing the machine codes. Memory allocation are done for each of the variables used by the program. The crucial aspect of this phase is the assignment of variables to the registers. A good code generator attempts to utilize these registers as efficiently as possible. That means we have to utilize the registers of the CPU as efficiently as possible, because there are less number of registers or temporary variables in the which are the part of CPU. So we have to utilize them in efficient manner so that the efficient code generation can take place. And this phases and that at code generation phase also identify the architecture or manual provided by the manufacturer of the CPU. For example, the Intel have their own generation of code, and they have their own assembly language format. Motorola have their own assembly language format. So that code generation phase identify the structure of assembly language, syntax or structure to generate the assembly code. Here that example code is converted into assembly code like this: move f identifier 3 comma r2. That means the value of identifier 3 is moved to register r2. Multiply f will multiply the constant 60 with the value of identifier 3 and put the results into R2 register also. And then next, value of identifier 2 is moved to register R1. In the fourth line, add f will add the contents of R2 with the contents of R1 and store the result in R1 register again. And move f command or assembly code will move the registers contents of R1 into the identifier 1, or it will equate the value of R1 to the identifier 1. That identifier 1 is the value stored or allocated for identifier 1 in the symbol table. That means the final value of register R1, the evaluated value of R1 is sent to the symbol table. Correct? From there, this can be displayed on the screen. This is the step-by-step execution of each phase. Position equal initial plus rate into 60 as given as input to lexical analyzer. The lexical analyzer will generate a tokens, stream of tokens. This is the lexeme, and output of this lexical analyzer is a stream of token which is identifier 1 equal identifier 2 plus identifier 3 into 60. Then is given as an input to the syntax analyzer, and the output of the syntax analyzer is a parse tree, and parse tree is given as an input to the semantic analyzer. The semantic analyzer will again generate the parse tree with semantic check. Here is two more blocks: symbol table and error handler. Symbol table will hold the values of identifiers or reserve the space for identifiers position 1, position 2 and rate, etc. This is again given as an input to the intermediate code generation, and intermediate code generator will generate code, correct, using the different intermediate representation. And this representation is given to the code optimizer for optimization of codes in terms of time and space. And finally, the code generator will, after consulting with the architecture of the CPU, a processor will generate the assembly code. This is the complete execution of sample code of compiler, and this is the complete 6 phases explanation of 6 phases of compiler.